On a humid August night in 1976, three teenagers rolled down a lonely stretch of Abair Road outside Whitehall, New York, windows cracked to let in the cornfield breeze. The road was the sort of two-lane ribbon that seems to float above the dark, no houses, no traffic, just the soft hiss of tires and the pulse of crickets. Then the beams caught it. A shape stepped out from the rows, filling the headlights like a moving wall. It was too tall for a man, too broad for a deer, and it turned its head with a slow, deliberate motion that showed 2 points of red light where eyes should be. The driver stomped the gas. The car lurched, the corn swallowed the figure, and the boys didn't stop until the glow of town gathered them up. Whitehall doesn't look like a place that breeds legends. It sits where farm fields fold into river flats and the Adirondack foothills draw a jagged line against the sky. Locals will tell you the woods hold stories, the kind your grandfather mentions only once, but that night in '76, the whisper became a shout. The teenagers told their story, and officers drove out to Abair Road to see what could be seen. What they found wasn't footprints in plaster or a photograph nailed to a bulletin board. What they found was experience, wind moving differently where something large had passed, the small, sour scent of something not quite animal and not quite human, the feeling that someone is watching you from the stitched seam where corn meets timber. One officer held a spotlight and painted the tree line with it, metal warm in his palm. He would later say that the beam finally settled on a figure about 30 feet away, upright, massive across the shoulders, hair draped in long matted strands. It didn't flinch from the light, it didn't charge. It simply stood and looked back with a steady, alien calm that shrank the space between breaths. He didn't fire, he couldn't explain why. In the days that followed, Abair Road drew people like a magnet. Patrol cars idling at the field edge, neighbors with flashlights, a tangle of rumor on the radio. Descriptions kept landing in the same unsettling place, 7 to 8 feet tall. Thick through the chest and arms, a strange, high, almost metallic cry that seemed to rise from somewhere inside the trees. Folks talked about a stride that wasn't a bear's hunching lope, but something smoother, more human. A silhouette that moved from one darkness into another without breaking the rhythm of the night. Skeptics had their say. Bad lighting, frayed nerves, boys spinning a story that ran faster than anyone could catch it. But the counterweight was hard to ignore. Multiple witnesses, some trained to notice, to write reports, to stand on facts. One by one, they told the same kind of story, and the map of Whitehall grew small red pins along the Pulteney River corridor, through hedgerows and drainage ditches, across that same stubborn stretch of road. People started calling it the Beast of Whitehall because the name fit the feeling. Not just big, not simply unknown, but something that pressed on the edge of the ordinary until the ordinary bent. A few casts of odd tracks surfaced and circulated large, human-like, too clean to be comfortable. Maybe they were real, maybe they were hope hardened in plaster. Either way, the town changed around the story. The years moved on, and the beast didn't fade the way campfire tales do. It settled in. Today, Whitehall wears the legend like a patch sewn to a well-used jacket. There's a festival where the old interviews get told again, where kids learn to shape a call in the back of the throat and send it up toward the tree line. There are little statues in shop windows, a wink from behind the glass. People joke because it's easier, and then fall quiet for a second because they know someone who swears they saw eyes in the corn. What was on Abair Road that night? A bear balanced on bad angles, misread by adrenaline and shadow. A hoax that found the exact shape of the fear everyone carries and stood in it until it became real. Or a flesh-and-blood giant that uses the fold of field and forest the way a fisherman uses current waiting where the dark runs deep. Drive Abair Road after midnight, and it's easy to understand why the story stuck. The headlights carve a tunnel, and the corn glitters with dew like 1,000 little eyes. The wind gusts, and the stalks bow in a ripple that looks, for a heartbeat, like something huge slipping sideways through the rows. You tell yourself it's only the weather, only the season, only the chorus of night creatures singing the same old song. And then, in that thin slice of silence between notes, you feel it. The sense that something remembers this place better than you do, that it knows every ditch and fence post and culvert, that it learned long ago how to stand just beyond the reach of the beams and watch you pass. Maybe the beast left. Maybe it never did. Maybe it's simply part of the land now, the way fog is part of the river. In Whitehall, some roads are longer than the miles between signs. Abair is one of them. If you go, keep your hands steady on the wheel, keep your gaze where it belongs, and don't, whatever you do, meet the eyes shining back from the edge of the corn.